And I think we're live. Welcome, everyone,
Yeah.
and thank you for joining us on another episode of Inspired Tarot. I'm your host, Ben from Inspired Action. You can find me at Inspired Action channel on YouTube. And my wonderful guest, Miss Psychic D, can be found at Miss Psychic D on YouTube as well as Facebook. If you'd like to reach out to Danielle for a reading, please go to misspsychicd.com.au for your reading. Good morning, Danielle. How are you today?
Hello, I am fabulous, Ben. Yeah, we've definitely come out of this shift, I think. Well, people should
Yeah,
be feeling a little bit more soothed, a little bit more easygoing.
yeah, I agree. It seems like we're on calmer waters. It's a bit of a lake with no waves. It's gone down to a bit of a ripple, I think.
Yeah, I think the full moon kicked a lot of people's behinds, but
Yeah,
yeah, everyone can rest assured that it should get smoother from this moment forth.
yeah, I agree. You asked me the question the other day. How are you going, or how's the Patreon group going? And I had said in my response back, I've been running around the house, singing, dancing around, being a fool with the kids while I was cleaning up whilst my wife was off doing some shopping. And yeah, I mean that's the energy that's sort of happening at the moment. And as with what I said last week, I'm running with it and I'm feeling good.
Fabulous. This is what I do when I'm on the receiving end of seeing your guys' responses and that in the Patreon as well. I literally sit there and go, oh, like, that is so cool. That is so cool. Because that is a form of mindfulness. You know what I mean? Like, people should give themselves a pat on the back when they acknowledge and can say out loud, I actually calmed my waters and just had a bit of fun and a bit of play, because that's the art of manifestation at the end of the day. So good on ya. I love it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was thinking actually about our topic this week, which is law of attraction. And as I'm bouncing around the house, being all happy and playing with the kids, I was thinking to myself, I really hope that all my thoughts, my desires that I've been thinking about for many years, with the new changing astrology, that it all kind of comes into focus. And even earlier today, I'm upstairs here. I was vacuuming upstairs because we haven't had the chance. We've had such a big weekend going out and about, and I was trying to
Yeah.
sort of clean up upstairs. I was thinking to myself, just vacuuming. It's kind of good, just to get all the thoughts, get all
Yeah.
the thoughts out and clear any, I don't know, energetic frustrations or negativity or anything like that. It's sort of, I think you in your household, you were doing a bit of a cleanup. Um, you know, sorting through things in the house and almost like the act of sorting out things in the house or sorting out where things sit in your house, at least for me, can sort of sort out the thoughts as well, right?
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, it's exercise. It's free exercise for starters, but also you're moving your energy. That's the real important thing. You're actually moving your energy, and the fact that you can be mindful as you're doing that by sort of acknowledging what's coming in, what might need a little bit of transmuting, what needs your attention, what can be left alone, all that's all going on without you probably fully cognitively thinking about it, if that makes sense. And obviously
Mm.
moving the stuff in your house, doing a declutter, all that sort of stuff, doing a smudge and a good cleanse, and lifting the energy in the home. That is absolutely like the most powerful thing anyone can do. My hardest thing was the fact that, because I do have to move, I've been working through my emotional attachment to the things of my brothers and mums that I've still got here. So that's a different little topic in itself, so to speak. But yeah, but moving your body, moving your energy, allowing those thoughts to just run wild a little bit, really good for the
Mm.
soul. Really good for the soul.
Yeah, I agree, and there's various different ways that people will accomplish that themselves. Some people will like to go off and do some running, or even mowing the backyard, doing some toiling around in the garden, all those types of activities, the same kind of thing. I mean, just weeding. Weeding's good too because it's a sorter, it's a sifter, and as you're doing the action, it sort of spurs it on in the mindset and in all the thoughts as well.
Exactly. And the most powerful part of that whole process, it doesn't really matter the inspired action that you're doing. It's more so the fact that you're not sitting there in a problem. You're not sitting there juicing and making the energy that what you don't want bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until the point that it's out of your control. So a lot of people think that they're lazy by not trying to sort out solutions straight away and all that sort of stuff, but that's actually not how the law of attraction works.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's a pretty good segue into the topic of law of attraction. Right now, I'm trying to attract into my household a good backdrop. So I think that'll come in maybe a week or two. We'll see. But the law of attraction, if you just go off and try and do some research on Google or go to YouTube, some videos around the world, it's really vast of different points of view. And if I were to look back into Google and say, what is the law of
Your audio is going a bit low, Ben.
Is it? Oh, goodness me.
Okay, now it's good. Now it's good. Yep.
I'll turn the gain up slightly and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So assuming you can hear me well, there's three laws, right, of or three components of the law of attraction. And one of them is like attracts like. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something around the present as well. So like the present is perfect, or the now is perfect. So there's an aspect of mindfulness. And I can't remember the other one. I think it's like something about nature abhors the vacuum or something like that. I'm not quite sure what that one's all about. But what I kind of see when I go and do my own research around the law of attraction, as someone who's a bit of a newbie, is I see a lot of videos on YouTube around how to hack it, how to cheat the system, how to get results fast. I've got this. I know the secret of the law of attraction, and it turns it up like 1,000%. And you go and you watch the video, and you think to yourself, "Hey, that doesn't seem right. How are you hacking that? It's not working." Because if a person thinks that they can follow these, 5 easy steps and you'll get to whatever your desires are, if they're not doing the vibrational or energy alignment, how are they ever going to manifest their desires? What's your opinion on that, Danielle?
Oh, look, I fully agree with you. And at the end of the day, most of these people are out there just doing business. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not here to run anyone down or anything of that nature. I'm just saying they are running a business, and they know the like the arenas that people latch onto, if you know what I mean. It's like the next best thing, so to speak. So most of the people that I see as well frustrate me, because what it is it's setting people up, and God bless them, they're giving them a bit of hope in that moment or whatever. But these people go and try these tactics, they don't get the results that are assured. No results are ever assured. At the end of the day, it's what you put into it that you get back. But and it sets them up, and then they get really disappointed maybe twice as much before they started the journey. So at the end of the day, when it comes to people like that, they're just doing business. They've taken the niche and they've run with it, and all that sort of stuff. But But at the end of the day, it is a very, very detailed topic when you actually get into it. Because I did my basic training about 5 years ago, and then I became a certified advanced practitioner through the Global Science Foundation. So that was run by Joe Vitale and the likes of those mentors. But yeah, like I say, it's very detailed. You can go as deep into it as you want. I personally don't, because it's too much information for this little brain to process. But what I've
But it can
learned
get in
and
the
what
way too, right?
absolutely, it gets too confusing. And it
Mm.
is quite simple. I mean, I live the simple method. That's why I created a little simple download for $7 on my website. You can go there and it'll just give you the overall fundamental of what it's all about. And then through
Mm.
communications and things I do on my Patreon page and other little gigs I set up, I can go into a little bit more. But it doesn't have to be that complicated for people unless you love to get into the depths, like the chemistry of it. And I just don't do that because my brain doesn't work that way. But
Yeah.
but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if you get inspired by things like that, that's beautiful for you. And if it helps you move forward, that's awesome. But 9 times out of 10, I think they're doing a little bit more harm than good.
Yeah. When I think about the law of attraction, and we're kind of going back to our conversation last week around me and my logical mind versus perhaps getting into the flow or the intuition, allowing the intuition to flow through into words and into sort of interactions. Going back to the logical mind, I think of the law of attraction as being a vibrational match of not only your physical body but also what your higher self is trying to achieve. Because your higher self is at least my point of view is your higher self is trying to guide you in a particular direction, but we're here in this 3D realm, and we have what's the word? We have a freedom of will, and so even though the higher soul may be tapping on our head saying, "Hey, I'd like to guide you in the way that you were originally set out to do," that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go down that path. You can still make your own choices. But coming back to the vibrational alignment, it's also aligning your emotions and your physical body, and there's an energetic component to a momentum of energy that sort of snowballs, I suppose, as you get more expectant for whatever it is that you're desiring to manifest itself.
Yep.
And what I'm personally going through at the moment is that identification of, hey Ben, the negative thoughts that go through the head, just through, it could be chewing your lunch, it could be walking somewhere, doing some other activity, but the self-talk can also be a bit of a detractor to that energetic momentum. And what I'm trying to identify myself at the moment is how I'm doing that on a daily basis. And so we were talking about last week about the whole self-checking activity. And I think that's really helping me to understand, okay, if I'm doing this self-check every so often and I'm checking in with my emotions and my thoughts, my conclusion to that is that I should start seeing some more smoothness in the way I'm manifesting in this reality as well.
Yes.
Am I on the right track?
Yeah, definitely. I like to think of it as simply as, at the end of the day, everything is energy. Everything has energy. So that's the first and foremost thing. So that energy carries a vibration. So yeah, we have our physical body, so to speak. It is just a vessel. The same as our brain is just there to keep this vessel alive, really. That's the only thing that the brain's supposed to be doing, so to speak. But because we've been programmed in the past in our thoughts and our beliefs by schools, by our parents, by friends, by influences, by whoever, that's when the head starts getting programmed with things that may not be in alignment with us. What we are first and foremost is soul. We are soul. We are spirit. We are extensions of non-physical energy. And unfortunately, I chose this body. No, I'm just kidding. But you choose your physical vessel to come and plot around in the world and all that and it's really important to look after that through nutrition and exercise and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's your soul and your spirit that you need to take care of first and foremost. Have you ever seen a baby that's been born and is really unhappy?
Yeah, no, other than crying because it's really cold. They go from really warm to really cold. That's it. They only cry for a split second until they get warm again.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, and they're crying because they can't communicate any other way. So they're going to laugh and giggle, but I'm like, you don't have a baby with lots of worldly problems.
No, no, that's right.
And all that sort of stuff. So that's basically who we really are. We're big babies. And we were actually born into this world without a lot of problems. A lot of people argue, and like I say, it's going to be a big topic. I won't go into it, but they'll say, well, what about the abused babies? And what about this? And what about that? And yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, we did choose to come into this physical experience in a human vessel. Look after the vessel by all means, but look after your thoughts and emotions and your energy first and foremost. Because at the end of the day, your thoughts do create your things. And it will influence the way that you feel. And your feelings are just an overall guidance, a guidance system for you. Just so you know what feels best, what doesn't, what I want, what I don't want. When you have unwanted thoughts, they're coming in with a purpose. They help you identify these things that you do want. And then you stay on the path of what you do want. That's all it is. And like I say, when people start mastering this, it just become a lifestyle, so to speak. Rather than I've got to set the alarm and do a self-check at 11:45 because, that's good in the beginning because obviously you need to train your way of being into something different than what you have been.
Momentum, yeah.
It is a momentum, definitely. And it's always you've always got to come back to self. It's yourself first and foremost, regardless of the kids, your partner, family members, anybody else in the community. You've always got to come back to yourself. And this is a process that you'll do till the day that you croak it, till the day you make your transition back into non-physical and all your worldly problems are gone. We will always have contrast. We will probably have mind chatter. And it's kind of like that saying, it's not what really happens to you, it's what you do with it that matters.
Sorry, I was about to say the whole scenario about we were talking about last week as well, which was either reacting to life or responding to it. And the difference with responding to it is that you observe whatever is occurring around you, it's coming your direction, and instead of using your emotion, the split reaction,
the reactive response,
the reactive response to it is having a bit of a think about it first, feel it within your body, and then make a conscious choice on how you want to respond to that, whatever that happens to be in your life, right?
Exactly. And when you do make that decision to really want better for yourself and to start manifesting the life you desire and all that sort of stuff, if I'm hit with a contrast, which is a negative experience, I call it contrast because it's a softer energy for me, but no, I'm hit with a contrast, I literally have trained myself to now take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. And I always ask myself, what is this showing me? Why did I manifest that into my experience? Because I have. No one wants to take ownership of anything negative happening to them, but everything's happening for them for a reason. You are experiencing that for a reason. There's something you're putting out there. So yeah, that self-check process is about coming back to self in that moment, taking a deep breath, just stopping the flow so it doesn't gain momentum into a direction and spiral, and say, what is this showing me? What is this teaching me? You can even ask Spirit. I say that all the time. I say, Spirit, what's going on here? What's going on here? Because I have a relationship with them. So, yeah, I do those sort of self-check sort of questions to help me transmute out of that. So I go back into solution mode. It doesn't mean I'm going to come up with a solution straight away, but the important thing is to stop beating the drum of that discord, that stress, that worry. People do get a little bit too caught up in the processes of it all. And like we were saying right at the beginning, you know, you do this, and this will be the outcome. Well, if it was that damn easy, you and I'd be millionaires in the Bahamas right now. Like we would, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's not life. Life was never meant to be easy, and I mean, if it was, how boring would it be? Really, it was that easy. I mean,
Exactly.
anything that's worthwhile, there's a journey aspect to it, right? At least in my point of view, I think if there was no journey, what good is the gift at the end that
The
you haven't
destination,
strived
yeah.
for something? Exactly, you haven't strived for something. And there's also an aspect of having fun in all of it.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's one of my key learnings in the past, I don't know, 6 months, is that, you know, my job's pretty serious, right? I'm around very serious people all day. And I noticed maybe a year ago that my silly self wanted to come out and have some fun. And I'd get grumpy as all hell if my silly self didn't come out and act like an idiot. And that was the byproduct. And so I could see it very, very clearly that, Ben, you're taking things way too seriously. It doesn't have to be that boring and serious all the time. You know, do what I have to in that realm, you know, in the working realm. And when I come home, I can be, you know, silly idiot, you know, running around the house with the kids, and that's fun. And look, even from a work point of view, those serious people that I'm around, there's an energetic momentum that I can spark within them, which when I think about the goal of this Inspired Action channel, that's bloody it. That's it, right? Which is, and I can see a hell of a lot of people from that are in the audience at the moment from JC's channel Beyond Mystic. Hi Ashley, hi Laura. They're all in there. Jay Rocco's down there as well. These are people. I'm certain these people get it too. That having a bit of fun will help that energetic momentum, and at its core, I think that's where that law of attraction engine is that how do you spark things and get them churning and get a snowball effect happening? And thank you, Laura. I'm never going to live this down. It was my silly self. I'm a moderator in another channel, and Laura, I can't even remember how this came up, but we were talking. It was silly chat in chat, and I said something along the lines of going on a holiday and something to do with, you know, the pool cleaner wearing Speedos and drinking a martini. So now every time I see Laura, she's saying something like, you know, where's the martini then? You know, and, so I don't think Laura is ever going to let me live that down.
And that's the important thing. It's about rehashing those kind of memories, rehashing that. You know, that's how you keep your momentum going. It's and because a lot of people forget that not only are you born with free will, but you've also got the freedom to choose how you feel in any given moment. If I had $1 for every client that I told over the last few weeks that, you know, no one can make you feel a certain way with it. Oh, are you all right?
Sorry, we got all your words. Yeah, we got all your words. But it was just a bit. I think maybe the internet connection might. might be going a bit.
Oh no.
So keep going.
Yeah, so you have a freedom of choice. And I've been saying to so many clients this week, you know, no one can really make you feel a certain way without your consent. If you're feeling a certain way because of how someone's communicating with you or treating you or something like that, that's something of yourself that is probably going to need to be addressed. Because no one actually has any power over you. You only have power over yourself. So if you're in a boring meeting and all you hear a ngang, 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 it's all you hear, or in an environment ngang, 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 and you're whatever, you still have the power to sit there and go, God, this is boring. Geez, you know, I wish they'd just fall off the face of the earth. I wish I could have a beer. You know, you go into that sort of dialogue. You also have the choice to go, wow, their hair's looking kind of funky today, isn't it? Or you can actually turn around and make it fun. And it doesn't mean you have to do it out loud, but you do it within yourself because you choose to feel better. You choose not to stretch yourself through an hour of pain and suffering and grueling and all that sort of stuff. I got diagnosed as bipolar back in 92 because that was my natural reaction to things. Even when it was serious, you know, I'd laugh. If something really bad happened to me, I'd laugh. And I never knew why. They said I had bipolar and they diagnosed me and give me pills and all this sort of stuff. And it wasn't. It's just that I come into this world running as an individual. And yeah, I just saw the bright side to everything. My dad used to always say, oh yeah, aren't you the little Mrs. Brightside? And I go, yep, yep. Because I don't know. Like I say, I can't explain it in like a psychological sense, so to speak. But in a law of attraction, energy, vibration, I've been doing it since from day dot. I just didn't know the rules and regulations around it, if that makes sense. The understanding and the knowings of it, and that's why I got certified. And now actively, I don't like to consider myself a teacher, but I like to influence others through my own example.
Yeah, and I think in this new age of Aquarius that we're moving into, uh, me personally, I think that is probably the best way to be, because and I was talking to my wife about this as well when we were talking about homeschooling. The way that I perceive things is that we have two ways of kind of getting to people, but communicating. There's a push and pull aspect to you know, guiding our children to learn. And the same sort of thing. Not that I'm saying that everyone out there is our children and we're some kind of gurus or something, but instead of pushing a point of view of this is the way the universe is and get with the program, it's more this is what I believe is the case, and through my own experiences in my life, this is how I can see it observably happening in my life.
Yep.
If I do this, and we go back to laws and steps, but if I do this, this is the kind of thing that I see manifesting in my life. And that's just really learning from others' life experiences. And that's there's a lot of richness in that, I think.
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people do is they get attached to the outcome. They get too attached to the outcome that they forget that they are where they are. And there's a journey to get to that outcome. And 9 times out of 10, most of my clients, they get stuck because they are so focused on the absence of what they're asking for.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want peace and quiet. I just want peace and quiet. They're asking, I want peace and quiet. I want peace and quiet. Yet they're in the chaos. So yeah, they want it and they're placing their order with it and stuff like that, but they're not instilling the joy, the fun, the laughter, and all that sort of stuff. And they're actually manifesting more not so much peace, more chaos, more conflict. And it may not be from the source itself. It could be happening around them in all aspects. So like I said, that's where the fine tuning comes in. That's where it does sort of get technical. But at the end of the day, if you can't do anything about something, have fun. Have fun. Stop focusing on it. Stop giving it airtime. Stop manifesting more. You are one big living human magnet I was doing a garage sale one day back in Nam, I always say, because it feels like I've been doing this for 150 years. But anyway, I was doing a garage sale and it got a bit quiet. And Spirit, and I should show you a photo one day, but Spirit got me to draw a picture of how this all actually works. So basically, they got me to draw a little stick figure because I can't draw to save my soul, but they got me to draw a stick figure and they got me to draw a circle around it, which I now know is the aura that goes around your body. And that's what you should cleanse. That's what you should protect, so to speak, on a daily basis. And what goes into that little bubble are your thoughts, are your feelings. That's why, and when I was doing workshops with people, I'd got really close to them. I'd go into their aura and get really close, and you'll notice when you get really close to someone, they'll sort of back off, or you can feel it. It's not a visual thing; you can feel it. That sort of stuff. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that all that stuff that goes into your bubble, that's the stuff that people should focus on, and only allow in.
And there's the individual, and then there's the collective as well. So where I was going with one of my previous thoughts was with the people at work that I was referring to is if I imagine myself, so we talk about frequency and we talk about vibrational alignments and all that sort of thing in the individual. But if we go and pick me up, let's say that I'm Mr. Perfect, and we go pick me up and put me in the middle of a whole bunch of people who are I've got a halo right
here. Yeah, sorry.
Pick me up and go put me in a whole bunch of negative people, and almost like fake it till I make it. The standing wave or my aura touching the next person, influencing them, perhaps their mood might start changing because of my approach, and it's a ripple effect. It's like, water in a pond.
Well, it's up to the individual. We might put Perfect Ben over into this crowd, and you're doing your vibe and sending out your juju and all that sort of stuff, and it could be so patronizing to people that they actually turn on you. You can have both.
We've got duality. Yeah.
But once again, you're your own individual. You still stand in your power, and you choose. Do you want to focus on the ones who are rising and being inspired by you, or you're going to focus on the naysayers? That's where your freedom of choice comes in, because they're going to be there.
Yeah. But it's a cool concept, I think, to envisage yourself that way, that you may not even need to be speaking.
Yeah.
You could just be existing in that point, at that place, and your vibrational resonance either works with someone or doesn't work with someone. And there's that, as I was saying, the push, the pull, the repel, the attract. And going back to the law of attraction, well, if you're in a group of people and your thoughts and your words that you're speaking are in alignment with others that are positive, well, we've got that again, that portion of the law of attraction where we talk about like attract like.
Yep. And another great concept to remember is that what everybody else is doing or thinking or reacting or behaving or perceiving or doing whatever is actually none of our business. It's none of our business. That people find that hard sometimes.
So do you want to expand on that? I mean, I know my thoughts are my own, and where I am on my own journey, that's that is my business. But I suppose there are, if I think about the prevailing sentiment in the collective, the prevailing perception is, let's have peace on earth. Right? And so I want to have this wave of peace and love and light across the planet. It's all very well a nice picture to imagine.
Yeah.
We don't have that now, and we may never have that. Again, it goes back to the whole living in a dualistic realm, I don't know where I'm going with this, but other than to say, well, do you want to expand on that part of it and how it relates to law of attraction?
Yeah, well, yeah, like attracts like, definitely. But if you're vibrating at the best possible version of yourself, and no one's ever going to be perfect, by any means or anything of that nature, you will in time only manifest and create people, places, things around you which are in alignment with yourself. But at the end of the day, it's about minding our own business and not worrying about what they are all doing. Even if they're sitting next to us and they're partying and they're discoing, yay, hoo, yahoo, that's still none of our business. But if they're over there, like the keyboard warriors and all that are blaming the world for their problems and going into that sort of vibration, that's none of our business either. What everyone else is doing around us is really none of our business, unless obviously they're threatening you personally, if that makes sense. But if you're vibrating high, typically you don't manifest things like that anyway. What was I going to say? So every time I get on here, because I can see some of the chats, but I can't read them because spirits start coming in. So I'm learning the art of detachment when it's just normal Danielle talking to when spirit are trying to say, can we put our 2 bobs worth in here?
Well, maybe. So Danielle, let's help the process, because you and I'm really loving this broadcast, and I think we're tuning along the way as well. Like, there's a couple of things that I know I should have done already that I haven't. And I'm just looking at the time as well. We're at the 36-minute mark. If you've got the tapping on the shoulder about putting some input in from spirit, what does spirit want to communicate now around what we're saying?
They're reminding me of what they taught me very early on, and that's to kiss. Keep it simple. Keep it spiritually simple. Other terms, keep it simple, stupid, are other things that people call it now. But they told me keep it simple. Keep it simple. Honestly, people do make a big hairy deal out of this whole thing more than they really need to. I would really guide people if they're really wanting to understand it more, because the law of attraction is real. It's as real as gravity. So it's about learning the fundamentals. I would go and watch The Secret if that inspires you, because they've got all different teachers. If there's a teacher on there that grabs you, go follow them a little bit more. Be inspired by them. But it is just about waking up with a purpose and going to bed satisfied. And everything that you fill your day with up consists majority of that. Start feeling good first. Feeling better first. That's what that's what they're saying. They're just saying try and keep it simple. And then once again, it's a lifestyle. Don't make it into a big process like going to school or anything like that. Your school is life. Your school is life, and it's about finding that understanding as to why these things happen. I don't know. I think you got to be passionate too. Yeah.
Well, I've just put up on screen here, Ashley, she'd said, well, before we were just talking about it, yes, kiss, keep it simple.
Oh, yeah. It is. It's simple.
Yeah. And I think I overcomplicate things as well sometimes myself when I'm trying to logically work it out in my head around what I want, what my desires are, how I want to get there.
That's something I'd like to say quickly, if I can, Ben. Because I've got a lot of people coming and asking about this, and this is going to go in relation with what you're saying. If you are really stuck and you don't have a specific on what you want in life, so for example, for me, I've got to move, but I have no idea. I don't have a specific area that I'm drawn to at all. Don't worry about that. Keep it simple. The most important thing is that you go into the feeling space of it. I love that my home is in a spacious environment. It feels so good to come home to a beautiful, clean home. It smells delicious. I love having a nice kitchen that I can cook in. Go into the feeling space of it rather than the specific. And that's, I think sometimes in your logical mind, you go into the specifics, maybe a little bit too much. And that sort of puts the brake on. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just the unprogramming, that's all. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. All right. So you were
Absolutely,
pulling some
Laura.
cards.
See that?
Yeah. Um. So you're pulling some cards. Did you put any down particularly? Any in particular?
No, because I just
Or
went
just
into Dan mode and just doing psychic insight. It's got nothing to do with the general conversation.
okay? So I'm just having a look now at the timing as well. I'll just put it out there. Were there any questions from the audience that you wanted to have answered around law of attraction that relates to you specifically?
Yeah.
I'll
And,
we'll,
and
we'll
that's the
keep.
hard part too, because if people don't have the fundamental understanding of the law of attraction, when they do get a bit of guidance or a bit of something from a practitioner or anything, that can be it's still just as confusing. So if I could guide
Yeah.
everybody, honestly, learn the fundamentals, watch The Secret, read the books. Esther Hicks is my go-to Bible. I hit the gold mine when she crossed my path because she channels very similar to how I channel spirit. You know, they joke, they play. It's not all serious. It's, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I would honestly encourage everybody because it's at play in our life anyway.
Well, I just put
And
up on
then,
screen here a whole bucket load of books from Esther Hicks on Amazon.
yeah,
Um, I can see the very first one there. Ask and and it is given.
I've
That
got
was a
all
really
those.
good.
Every
Yeah,
single
that
one.
was a really
Yeah.
good read. Really good read. Um,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
see,
even know where to start.
I think you can identify too. Some people aren't big readers. So what I did is I actually bought their DVDs because I'm a visual
Mm.
learner. So I bought the DVDs and it's real life people asking questions. Obviously, there's heaps on YouTube now too. Um, but you'll find once you listen to them all the time, there's 101 different questions, but the answer's always the same. Always the same.
And what's the answer?
Feel good.
Mm.
And always come back to self. Always come back to self.
Yeah, which is I think, correct me if I'm not if I'm wrong here, but for me, going back to self is always that feeling space,
Yeah.
because whether that's right or not, I don't know, but for me, what I'm feeling is connected to my intuition. My intuition is connected to my higher self. That's the way that I see it,
Yeah. Yeah.
rightly or wrongly, but that's how I see it. So it's kind of like a chain of events, like a connection of events, right? So if I go into my feeling space, I'm going to connect to my intuition, and then I have trust that my intuition is connected to my higher self,
Perfect.
and
Yeah.
that's how I resolve it sometimes. Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think at the end of the day, people get too caught up in the right and wrong. You know, I just watched a YouTube and Danielle said to do this, but that doesn't work for me. But that's part of the self-awareness. That's about coming back and getting to know yourself.
Mm.
You know, in this reality, what's shaped you. You know, some people have to stop being products of their environments. That's where my readings come in because I can help people sort of start from where they are, so to speak. But you know, there's no right or wrong. You know your connection. That'd be like people coming and telling me that how I'm channeling messages and that is wrong. It's not wrong. I just worked it out for myself.
Yeah,
And that's what people. And if it works for you, sweet. You know, and you're getting results, sweet. And everybody else that's listening, if you're doing it your way and it's working for you, keep doing it. That's right for you. Just because Betty
mm.
down the road or that YouTuber or that person who wrote that book or whatever says differently, no.
And I think that so every time I've had a tarot reading myself, a lot of the cards that come out for me are Ben's done the work or whatever. However, he's approached it in a very unique way. is kind of what I generally get. And there was a technique that I picked up on, would have been 10 years ago. No, maybe 15 years ago. So I would have been in my late 20s. Um, was a color therapy and meditation that was linked with oh god, how do I explain it? So let's say, for instance, we go back to the feeling space. So whether it is a physical pain or whether it's um, an emotion that you're feeling, when you feel that emotion, what are you feeling in your physical body? So you close your eyes, you're in that meditative state, maybe you're listening to some music or something like that, and you try and picture what does that feeling look like in your head.
Yep.
So you turn that feeling into an object. Now that object can be either solid, liquid, or gas, and it can have a color, and that object can also have reflective surfaces or whatever. You imagine that emotion in your body. Now, if it's let's say for instance, it's a negative emotion, and you're wanting to purge yourself of that negative emotion or work through it, feel your way through that emotion. What I would do in this meditation is so let's say, for instance, it's a solid. It looks like a rock. So what you're imagining in your head is a rock, and it's metallic. So you've given it some form, and this is maybe a transmuting technique. And so you would then focus in on that object in your mind's eye of either decreasing it or changing it somehow, just manipulating it and changing its form. And so you go through that process, and then you step back in your mind, and you come back to the image again. Has the image changed? Has it gone from a solid to a liquid or a gas?
Wow.
What does it look like on the outside? What color does it have? And for me, this is really, really helpful for me, because if it was stress or a negative thought or something like that, I could purge my body. I could transmute that negative energy basically out of me. Now, it might return the next day, but it was a really fantastic meditation where it would change its form and its shape. And if I was in that meditation for long enough, I could change something in my mind's eye that looked like a mountain. I could change it into a speck, like a marble. The marbles
Right.
kids used to. And if I got that marble down to gas in my mind's eye, I could make it evaporate. And that felt like the release. God knows whether this is already a technique that someone else has figured out or not, but that's how I would experience it. And
That's amazing.
I feel like for me, it's somehow connected to my journey, my learning, my experiencing with the law of attraction as well. Because if I'm trying to find energetic momentum with my desires, and I put into practice that technique, again, the logical mind says, hey, I might get somewhere with that.
Yeah.
That might be my own unique way of clearing things out.
Definitely. But what I love about that is that you found something to transmute that. You found something that suits you to shift that. That's a choice that you made. And as you're talking, Spirit are going, don't forget that everything's intention. Everything in life's intention. I know there's a lot of people out there, and I'm not, like I say, I'm not poo-pooing anyone, so to speak, but it's like crystals and all other things like that. Yes, they have their healing qualities in that, but Spirit have always said to me, this is about intention. If I pick up this water and say, I'm going to have a drink out of this now, because it's my intention that this water is going to cure my irritable bowel. Bad example, but you know what I mean? Because my intention is set that's what's going to happen. That's what happens. You know what I mean? Everything in life's intention, and it doesn't matter what you're working with. no one can use the excuse that I don't have cards. You know, I don't have this. I don't have that. You don't need any of it. You just need your desire and use your free will, make positive choices, and use your intention. And that's the law of attraction.
I had heard once through another source. I can't remember who it was, but it had something to do with Archangel Michael. Was saying you don't need crystals to get the benefit of what crystals can do. If you go outside and go get a river pebble and you do your clearing on that object, but you put your intention into it, and it can have exactly the same effect.
Exactly.
So
it's energy healing, energy clearing. It's all intention. Some people who go and see a healer and they may be really good at what they do, they walk away and did not feel anything. There was no shift in their vibration because deep down, whether they admit it or not, there's no intention to heal or get better from there. Yeah, like I say, intention's everything. Intention is seriously everything.
And I think perhaps that's what I was applying to the object in my mind as I was going through that. The intention is make it go away, transmute it, change it, change it, change its state, and then have another go at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spirit are kind of giggling, going, he's kind of going a long way around it, isn't he? Kind of the long way, but I went, it's Ben's way, leave him alone. but yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. And like I say, I hate saying, because that's how they joke with me. And I'm not saying that you're always wrong or right, but they're as you fine tune these things, you won't need to do that kind of process. That's what Esther Hicks teaches as well. Yeah, it's pivoting. It's about pivoting at all times. So let's go get some tutus and have some fun and pivot while we're vacuuming and pivot. Just pivot.
Oh goodness. But people in the audience, any questions specifically for you? So when I ask that question, what is maybe a question for people in the audience? Are you trying to manifest something right now? You're manifesting a car. What are your current desires? What can we perhaps in the last few minutes of the show? What can Spirit say specifically to them? So as an individual reading, Laura, Ashley, Rocco, any questions? We've got Ocean Odell here as well on the live stream. I know you've got good questions.
Ask us anything. What I'll do is I'll give Spirits. If someone asks, I'll ask Spirits' response, and then give them the law of attraction guidance to get closer to that from this moment, if they're keen.
Well, Rocco's Mr. Peaceful, so he has no questions.
Zen Man. And that's okay. If no one wants to ask, that's cool too. I can't see questions, so.
Yeah, I'll put them up on screen. So if you do want to ask a question, just put question in caps in chat, and we can highlight these on screen.
And honestly, the law of attraction is the most. Honestly, it's been the one thing in my own life that has really saved my bacon. That's what I'm so passionate about, because I've literally turned my life around, upside down, into the better, just by knowing it, understanding, learning, watching, growing, expanding. And that's the thing everyone should understand too. I was going to say this earlier, that, you are here on a growth experience. You are going to grow and expand. And to grow and expand, you need to have sometimes contrasts in experiences, because you'll just get bored where you are, and you'll never stop asking. You'll keep asking. But what we'd love for you to do is to get into a very steady place where you can start receiving, whether it's just the emotional.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just going to say we have a question. We have a question
Awesome.
from Marge. It's about property.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to manifest.
The sale of a property. Okay, so law of attraction, inspired action step you can take, Marge, is to sit and picture that sold sign on the front of your house. You know, envision and feel the smile on your face when it gets sold to a beautiful family. Really bask in the feeling that you're actually getting 10% more of your asking price. Go into it like it's sold already and it's moving on and it's forwarding, even though it's not physically doing it. But yeah, yeah, you got the tower, so definitely the house is going to be sold soon. I would say in your energy right now, within the next 3 to 4 months, the possibility of it selling. Obviously, you line yourself up. I use the analogy, but I come out the fact that you might even get more for your property than what you thought. So that's either that, or if you're going to rebuy in that context, because we're quick little insight here, you may actually get something cheaper if you're moving on. So there's definitely a positive cut. I'm seeing like 10, 15, possibly $20,000 difference. So yeah. So don't try to put up any walls or boundaries or anything for yourself, Marg. Just keep going. You'll get through this because you've got the strength card here. Yeah, and this to me represents internal battles. So if anything's going to stop the sale of the property, Marg, it is going to be that it's real life anxiety. Everyone knows what it's like trying to sell and buy property and do all that sort of stuff. But if you tap into the law of attraction and say, my house is sold. I love the people that I sold my property to. They're going to do wonderful things with it. I'm moving forward. I can't wait to find my new house. Oh, my new house is so exciting. I'm going to get it for cheaper. What color am I going to paint that wall? What am I going to do this? See the difference in the story? If everybody did that in their story, their outcomes will come sooner rather than later. So yeah, 3 or 4 months, Marg, based on your energy right now. But if you've got that giddy flow going, it can happen sooner.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Mark. We have another one here. I think it may very well be the last one before we go. Got a couple of minutes left. We'll go for Miss Laura here. Pop that one up on screen.
Will my grandson be okay in his new school? Spirit just joked and said he's certainly going to teach them a thing or two. Oh, absolutely. We've got the Six of, and I just want you people that don't know me, I don't read tarot card meanings per se. I read the energy from them, but there's a victory card, so he will do well. He may take a bit of time to adjust and all that, but the fact we got the Ace of Cups is he's going to get actually a lot more emotionally mature from this experience for himself. So he's going to be fine. I feel like he may sort of be a bit shy or timid or that at the beginning, but I feel like a lot of people are going to gravitate towards him. It's like he's in the right place at the right time. So he's going to be fine. If anyone's going to be depressed, it's going to be his family. I think this is more of a family concern than an actual grandson sort of concern. But it's funny in his timeline, in his energetic timeline, even though his parents are making his choices for him, I do feel like he is there for a reason. And he's going to maybe soothe some of the wild ones. Or some of the wild ones may actually not make him wild, but actually increase his confidence a little bit or something. There's definitely something positive attached to him being there for both himself and for others. So yeah, he'll be fine.
So basically what you're saying is for Laura here, the grandson might be saying to mum and dad, see you later, I'm going to have some fun.
Pretty much, because he's on his own journey. He's on his own journey, regardless of his biological age or anything of that nature. He's on his own journey because they're just saying this is his best next logical step. So this is somewhere where he needs to be as an individual. I love it. And I think in about 3 or 4 months also, I think the family will see evidence of what this is.
Laura's just said here that they're raising him.
Oh, good on you, Laura. God bless you. You're doing a wonderful job. Spirit just went like that. He's going to be a leader when he gets older. A leader of some sort. He's going to be very successful.
So he's 6. He's 6 at the moment.
Yeah.
Laura said.
Thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I wouldn't go as far as president. But I won't go as far as president. But yeah, he's going to be a leader of some sort. Anyway, good on you, Laura.
Excellent.
Love it.
Good vibes. Okay, that might be it for us this week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all my friends as well that have come across from the Beyond Mystic family. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
I suppose for me, the familiar faces, it's a warm and fuzzy feeling that these people. Thank you for coming across here and supporting me. It's been fantastic. I'm having more and more fun doing this every week. I know we're going to get this momentum going.
Yeah,
I can see it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
brilliant. Everyone, thank you everyone again for joining us. Have a fantastic week. And from Inspired Action, goodbye.
Bye, everyone.